Goldman CEO addresses junior bankers' complaints after survey goes viral. CNBC broke the story. Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon addressed junior bankers' complaints over heightened workloads in a message to employees after the results from an internal survey went viral. Oh, boy. So here's the story. Goldman Sachs obviously hears some rumblings. They do an internal survey, and they get all kinds of flack. Inhumane treatment. Physically in pain, exhausted, mentally and emotionally, at the end of my rope. Why? Because some of you are going, well, what are these, snowflakes? Were they buttercups? And that's always possible. No. 100-hour work weeks. 100-hour work weeks. Yikes. So here was his quote. Let me say to everyone, in particular to our analysts and associates, we recognize that people working today face a new set of challenges. In this world of remote work, it feels like we have to be connected 24/7. All of us, your colleagues, your managers, divisional leaders, we see that. Apparently you didn't see it. More on that in a second. We're here to provide support and guidance. This is not easy. We're working hard to make it better. Okay. Amid the allegations in the survey of the crushing workload, Solomon, the CEO, reiterated Goldman's commitment to protected Saturdays. These people are working on Saturdays. He said, we're strengthening enforcement of the Saturday rule. We're accelerating our efforts to hire more junior bankers, because these were junior bankers that were working these crazy hours. So you got highly competitive field, very desirable company, Goldman Sachs, big brand, right? And you got these young workers who want to get in, and so they get in, and I don't know if it's a corporate pay your dues. I don't know. I'm not going to make any allegations. I'm reporting the story, but the facts are it was enough of an issue that Solomon addressed and said, hey, I'm going to reinforce this deal that you're not supposed to work on Saturdays. This is a leadership fail. Period. Yes, leadership is hard, Mr. Solomon. Yes, leadership is complex. People working Saturdays, 6 days a week, 100 hours a week, when there's a rule on the books that you're going to now have to reinforce, this is a massive leadership fail. We want to be a workplace where people can share concerns freely. In the months ahead, there are times where we're going to feel more stretched than others, but just remember, if we all go an extra mile for our client, even when we feel we're reaching our limit, it can really make a difference in our performance. I'm going to disagree with that. This is corporate speak. I'm assuming again here that the survey is pretty accurate, or they wouldn't be addressing it. But it is not a proper leadership response, in my opinion, to say, hey, it's going to be a really, really tough season, because that is the reality at times, and we're all going to have to pull some extra hours. That's the reality sometime. But just saying, if we go the extra mile for our client, even when we feel we're reaching our limit, it can make a difference in our performance. At some point, when people feel they're reaching their limit, they are mentally and emotionally damaged. They're not working at full capacity. So I would say to Mr. Solomon, when someone feels they're reaching their limit emotionally and mentally, the derivative effect, the negative effect on them means that they can't give the best performance. By the very nature of someone being at the point where they're just like, I'm about ready, their performance is already less. There's all kinds of data on the negative return on working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. Performance actually drops. I would make the case a very healthy, rewarded employee busting it for 40 hours is more effective than somebody who's fried working 100 hours. It's not even close. So this is poor leadership. This has turned into a factory. It's a pay your dues. It's the way it is. And that what they're hearing is this younger generation different than my generation. I'm going to tell you this right now. Gen X, we would have put up with it. Joe, I'm going to tell you right now, that internal survey would have come back, nothing. Millennials, they'd have got a lot more, and they're getting a lot more. But this Generation Z, 22, 23, 24, let me tell you something. They ain't doing it. They will flat out tell you, they're not going to do it. So this is a leadership problem. And I share this story because of this. I asked the question, how many hours at work is too many? When you are at a point where you are forced, not you choosing, I've had those calls before. I'll put you on the spot on what you're choosing versus being forced to do. But if you are in an extended season where you're pulling 60 hours a week, 55, 60 hours a week for an extended period with no relief in sight, I'm going to tell you right now, that will catch up to you. It'll catch up to you. There is a big movement on the horizon. It's getting more and more fuel. And I should stipulate, it's not a big movement yet. I'm predicting it's a big movement. It's coming. You heard it here today. The 4-day work week is going to catch some massive steam in the United States in 2021. I'm telling you, I'm seeing rumblings. It's like the wave that's way out there, Joe, and you're going, oh, that's not a good wave, and then you realize it gets closer. Oh, baby, that's a wave. Mark my words, because I don't mind being wrong. 2021, you're going to see real conversation around the 4-day work week because of technology, automation, the amount of people working from home. I'm just telling you. And that's a discussion we're going to have on this show. Madison and I have talked about it. You know, would I work Monday through Thursday, 10 hours a day in order to not work on a Friday? Now, my situation is a little different. I'm going to be honest. I really like doing this show. They can tell you, the crew can tell you when I'm on vacation or I'm gone 3 or 4 days to travel to speak every once in a while, I miss it. I dig broadcasting. All right. So I'm a little different. I kind of like doing 5 shows, you know. Joe could probably talk me into 2 more. You know, I mean, honestly, I love what I really, really love broadcasting. But I think the average person is going to go, yeah, I'd work 10 hours on a Thursday, a Monday through Thursday, to not work on Friday. I'm not going to mention anybody's names who's shaking their head back behind the glass. Here's my point. Leaders, if you're listening to this show, you stumble on this show, you better be aware of this. This is how it's got to be. Ain't going to work. Those days are over for workers. And in some ways, you're going to have to respond to the marketplace. So working people 55 and 60 hours a week for a long period of time, that becomes a leadership systemic problem that if you don't fix, it's going to blow up in your face. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong. I absolutely think it's wrong. And I think it's wrong, not from a humane, I don't like it from that issue either, but I really don't. It's a horrible, horrible business decision. People are not effective when they work that much. There's a return on investment, and I'd rather have a healthy, happy 40 hours than a stressed out, burned out 60 hours. Not even close. So wake up, leaders. I hope this guy wakes up. The big brand, you're going to do it our way and work like a dog. It's not going to work, and it shouldn't work.